we're in the big rig. Air conditioning. Jeez, I've got the windows down and getting more of the experience, but you got the...
I paid for the
air
upgrade.
on, yeah.
I got the upgraded ticket. It was in the brochure, it said air conditioning was an option, and I signed up for it.
So, what's the name of your truck called, Lee?
The name of the truck used to be called the Old Girl.
Oh, yeah.
And then the wife got the shits.
Oh, yeah.
So, but this is my old girl, yeah.
So that's the old girl.
Yeah, this is the old girl.
The valuable old girl. Precious one.
Yeah, and the reason for the old girl is I all my life I've always wanted to own a 70 series, whether it be a single cab or I really wanted a troopy, but it just doesn't look right, I suppose, cruising around the city of Sydney in a troopy. You know, it's a bit too rural for me, even though most would say utes are rural, but I've always owned utes, so you know, with business it's just easier to, if I've got to go and pick up stock and supplies, it's just always good with a ute. And when I heard that the 70s were bringing out a dual cab, I signed up for it straight away. So 2013 I took delivery.
Nice. Tricky little one. Second gear, Rich, and I'd go twin lockers, second gear, and just go real steady, okay? All flat bottom. So you got some nice gear inside your truck. It's like, I reckon there's more gear in here than the cockpit of a bloody A380.
But everything's always got a reason why it's there, you know. For example, I used to have a Hilux and it overheated on me and it did a head gasket, but the temperature gauge on the Hilux didn't move when it overheated. It moved once it overheated. So, you know, $5,000 later for a new head and gasket,
yeah,
I found the gauge that actually mounts to the cylinder head and it actually reads the temperature all the time, which is down there. So it's telling me cylinder head temperature is at 72 degrees.
Is that good?
It's sensational because it's also got an alarm in it, so you can set an alarm. So if it ever warms up, I get an alarm setting.
That's what I need on mine, eh?
Yeah, so, and I'll set that at 90 degrees, which is still nowhere near overheating. Sometimes this will beep if I'm really fanging hard. I look at my temperature gauge on my dash and it still hasn't moved.
Yeah.
So useless. They're useless bits of, like, they're better off putting a clock there, you know, like.
Yeah.
So that's the reason behind that, you know. And then there's dual batteries and...
Your dual battery monitor?
Yeah, so the dual battery monitor is like, I'm a little bit dumb, so I don't like numbers, I like colours.
Yeah.
So green is everything's charging, orange is everything's in float mode and everything's at normal level, and red is battery's low. And then there's also a button, the on button. If I hit that, I've got a solenoid under the bonnet which links the two batteries together.
Oh, yeah.
So great for winching, great for jump starting yourself. Yeah, so perfect for
this
that.
Is good. You just got that sitting.
Yeah, so this is just an iPad, normal iPad case, and it just sits in there and
doesn't move.
Hasn't moved. I thought going up Big Red's going to be the challenge. You know, 4th gear, low range.
What's down there?
Nothing at all. It just slides out.
Oh wow.
So you know, we climbed Big Red before, 4th gear, low range, and pegged it up. And mate, she hung in there, didn't come out. So I'm totally impressed with the way the car's going. I'm just in 1st gear, high range, no lockers.
You're just doing a lot of high range?
Oh, I'm doing it all in high range.
Okay, yeah.
So far it's just been walking it.
No lockers even?
No lockers.
You haven't had your lockers in at all?
Except the creek? The creek. When I did Big Red, I had the rear locker on.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like, otherwise, it just walks it, eh? The 35s make a massive difference.
Oh, yeah.
You've got such a big footprint. You know, when you're air down.
I've had my rear locker in most of the trip.
Yeah.
But you know, I got the trailer.
Yeah, that's right.
But that rear locker of mine has been in the whole trip really, and I've used the front one on them tough ones.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just priceless. You know, I keep saying, I get a lot of young kids at the shop. You know that I suppose are inspired by forward driving, by what I do or whatever. And they want to do these big lifts and try and run big tyres, and I say to them the first thing is, mate, save up, buy yourself a lockers, set of lockers, because you'll get a lot further on 31s or 32s on lockers than what you will on 33 or 35s open divs.
Exactly.
You know, it's just amazing what lockers
And also,
do.
like Fido's finding out too, or he knows, but you know, you put bigger tyres on, then next thing it's you know, something else and something else. You're gonna have. There's a lot more to it than just chucking 35s on.
You open up a can of worms. You know, your gearing's gone out of whack. You haven't got that torque that you used to have.
Yeah.
So, you know, I suppose with the V8s we're blessed that with a little tune and a little exhaust and stuff we can make a little bit extra power and we can compensate for that.
Yeah.
But these little 4-bangers, you know, they do suffer a little bit, but they still, you know, they get it done. But yeah, set of lockers. Before this, my Hilux was a a 3-litre turbo diesel with twin locked, and you know we walked Cape York like it was nothing.
Yeah.
With 32, so yeah, it's not all about big tyres, but if you can have a combination of lockers, big tyres, power,
and
you just walk everything.
Truck, haven't you?
Yeah, you do just walk everything.
So what's this up on top there? That's your
So that's a scan gauge.
Scan gauge.
Yeah. So what the whole idea behind that is we did the Cape one year, and a mate of mine had a 200 series, which went into limp mode every time we left the dealership. So we just about went to every Toyota dealership from Brisbane to Cairns. So the idea of the scan gauge is you can see what error codes the engine throws, and you can reset so you can get out of limp mode. If it's not something fatal or vital, you can reset it and off you go. But the other thing is then it's a monitor for the computer in your car. So my computer already knows all these figures, it just hasn't got a monitor to show me all these figures. My monitor at the moment is a fuel gauge, a temperature gauge. Well, that's telling me now fuel used is 22.6 litres, fuel in tank 217 litres, distance to empty 956 kilometres, and in this sort of stuff I'm averaging 22.9 kilometres.
Shit, you got to give me one of those, eh?
Mate, and the cheapest chips, like you can mount them anywhere, you can stick them wherever you want, like so good.
And what's that little P2 up the top there? P2, up right at the top.
So that's my throttle controller. Yeah, so your throttle.
I'd just chuck that on for me.
Yeah, so that is that is worth its weight in gold too. You know,
I've noticed that distance on mine too. You put your foot down and it's just
instant response. Yeah, you know.
I never even heard of them before. He even whacked one in. I'm like, what's that thing? He goes, oh, that's throttle control. I'm like, what do you mean? What's that do?
Well, you know, the factory computer, when you nail it, because everything's fly-by-wire throttle, the factory computer, when you nail it, it tells your throttle nails it, and the computer goes, okay, Mr. Luigi wants to go flat out, but nah, we're going to preserve the running gear and we're just going to ease the power on. Yeah. So this thing here is saying, hey, listen, big boss, he's paying the bills, he wants power. Yeah. Give him power, and bang.
That's all we need.
That's what it basically does. So.
It's working good.
And mate, the best $35 I've spent.
Can't believe you got that for $35.
Mate, that is my tyre pressure monitoring kit.
You fed income $35.
$35.55. So I do tell a lie.
The ARB ones for $390.
$308 for an ARB one. I put it on. I tried to muck around with it. As you can see, I'm got a bit of technology mind sort of person. I went back to ARB and I said, mate, give me your best boy who knows his tech. I said, if he can work it out, I'm quite happy to keep it. After 5 minutes of fiddling with it, they turned around and said, give the bloke his money back. Yeah. I get home and my neighbour says, mate, try one of these things. He paid $95 for it. So I got an eBay, found the same one for $35.
So it's a tyre pressure monitor?
Tyre pressure monitor and sensor, temperature sensor as well.
What's your temperature running now on all your tyres?
Well, I've turned it down because what happens is the low pressure alarm goes off at 17 PSI. So, and I'm running about 18 PSI, so it bounces in and out of low pressure and the alarm beeps and does my head in.
Can you reset that low pressure alarm?
On this model, so probably the two downsides to this model is low pressure can only be minimum 17, and it's not as bright as what you'd like it. So at night it's nice and bright, but during the day it'll be better if it was brighter. But hey, at $35,
that's unbelievable. $35. So
it's still telling me what I need to know.
Tyre pressure kit, $35.
Yeah, exactly right. 4 sensors. Incredible. And the gauge.
And it's working, Simpson Desert, working as it should.
Perfect, yeah, it's still working after that water crossing that we did. Yeah. Or the 2 water crossings that we did, covered in mud, blah, blah, blah. It's still doing what it's supposed to do. The water didn't get into them. So far so good. We've got a nice little climb coming up. Yeah. So this is pretty cool, looks good. I'll just ease it on. Probably just walk it, looks nice and firm.
The track's, I mean, it is definitely chopped up, but it's not as bad as what I thought it would be.
It's chopped up but firm, like there's a firm base to it, it's not real loose. Yeah. So again, just first gear, high range, no lockers.
And see, we passed a couple of Land Cruisers, same sort of trucks past us, eh? Yeah. Did you see them? They were just absolutely giving it a stick to try and get up these hills, eh? Yeah. They were just boring. One got stuck in front of us. And they were just revving the tits off it.
And you could see
it. And it was the same truck, same hill, eh?
Yeah.
So that's
they were just really heavy as well. So I've got a canopy that I can bolt on the back, but when I do trips like this, I try and keep the truck as light as possible. Yeah. Otherwise the truck,
isn't it?
Yeah, big time. And especially, look, if you're going to damage it, what damages your truck is weight and speed.
Yeah.
You know, when you combine the two together,
Yeah.
you're going to break or buckle something.
Yeah.
In the Simpson Desert, unfortunately, you need both.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of momentum, and you need weight because you're carrying all this stuff on board. So, you know, I've traded some of the luxuries, like my little travel buddy oven, for fuel and water. So, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't complain.
And what about this little thing on the dash that throws up? Yeah, what's that? That's just
That's just my reverse camera. So it used to be mounted on the windscreen, but yeah, that's a little bit on the primitive side. But you know what? I'm not going to change a whole head unit just so I can have a fancy reverse camera.
What about the other one that's throwing up your speed?
And that one there is from...
That's what I want on mine.
Yeah, so that's good. So because my daily tyres are 33s, and when I go out play weekends like this or weeks, I'll throw 35s on there. The speed's always out, so that gives me a positive speed reading, which is GPS, and it's dead set accurate. Like, it's ridiculously accurate.
That's awesome, eh?
Yeah. So
do you need that little patch on the windscreen?
No, you don't have to have it, but it does make it that little bit easier to read during the day. But because it's full bright, we're driving into the sun now, it's a little bit harder to read.
Yeah.
I've also got a dash cam which has the speed on that, but I've just switched that off because I want Kaido to back up the card in it. Yeah. Because there's all the creek crossing and Big Red. So I want him to back that up, and then I'll turn it back on. And so I've also got a speed reading on that. Yeah, cool. And that's the Warn remote winch controller. Oh yeah. He come in handy today, didn't he? Yeah. Yeah. Been out a few times. Yeah.
Tell you what, those ropes, mate. Ropes and soft shackles.
Oh, mate. They are so pricey. And you know what? More so is the Bubba rope. Like, you don't get that jarring whatsoever. Like, it's just so smooth, so effective, so light.
Like, we've had, I'll give you a few soft shackles, and you've had them, but we were, when I come back from the Cape, we were, I'd made up some short ropes. Yeah. And then you like bridles, mate. You got to get on these bridles.
100%.
And I already had the rope, and then we put them straight on, and then we basically made up a bridle kit. That was from that time I pulled into your shop. Had a few beers with you. We were talking for drive gear like we do. And that's become the bridle kit, mate. And, you can see from today, like you said to me that you should have a bridle on the front all the time, so because we did the Cape, and every time we hooked up, we got to reach underneath and climb underneath and hook it up to one point. But the bridle kit is the go, mate. Eh?
Mate, sometimes we learn things the hard way, but a lot of people don't even learn the hard way. Like, they don't revisit their videos or what other people do and think, well, right, how can I learn from that? So, when we're up at the Cape, we're about to cross Nolan's Brook, and I'm going to my mates, we need a bridle on the front, because if you get stuck in the middle of the water, I ain't going scuba diving looking for a recovery point. On top of that, a D-shackle, you drop a D-shackle in the water, you drop a pin for the D-shackle in the water, mate, you lost it. It'll take you forever to go and find that in the sand. Whereas if you drop a soft shackle in the water, it's going to float. So, priceless.
If you're in the water, you want to be moving, go for it. If you stop, your car fills up quick.
The minute you stop, you're taking in water. Whilst you're moving, you're
so it is important to get that happening quickly, eh?
100%. You want to be able to hook up.
Sort of, you got to hook up, and you can do it quickly. It might mean your car's half full of water rather than totally full of water.
I've got a video on my YouTube channel where one of my mates got stuck, and he was stationary in Nolan's Brook for 45 seconds. That's all. Like, it's not a long time, but the amount of water he took in 45 seconds, especially on a dual cab ute, the back of the ute bit, they're not sealed units, it took a bunch of water in, and that was only 45 seconds. And the guys there, they get stuck for 10 minutes by the time they find their recovery points and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's been great, and we've been, we made up kits for each of the vehicles, and we use them today, didn't we?
Yeah, they definitely come into play today. They were very handy, easy to access. You can store them anywhere. Like, D-shackles, they rattle, they make a heap of noise. I've got mine hooked up to my hand railing. They look like a necklace. So soft shackles, the soft shackles are just hooked up there.
What about on that recovery? We must have used a dozen soft shackles in that long rope. We were joining every rope we had. Now, if you can't do that with these. You just can't do it. Right?
Could you imagine the fear you'd have if one of those things let go and you got two snatch ropes, two Bubba ropes connected? So could you imagine the momentum those D-shackles are going to get if one of them lets go?
And then the only other way without D's, you got to all thread them through each other. Well, that takes a long time. You try and thread 10 ropes through each other,
and then they bind to each other, and then you can't get them undone.
That's right. That's the problem. You can't go sticking magazines in between everybody.
What's that, man?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, why do it anyway? Just use a soft shackle.
But it's a good learning curve. See, like you just got to look, watch, learn, and think, all right, how can we improve on that? So.
And then with the sleeves, like all recovery points in the front, you know, they're not made for soft shackles. But as soon as you got that boot liner sleeve on, that's fine. It's not a problem, eh?
Yeah,
those things are a big point, because without that, you know, soft shackles can get cut up. So you got to be careful. Just watch what you're doing.
And let's face it, at the end of the day, there has to be a weak link in the system.
Yeah.
And if it means you're going to lose a soft shackle eventually over time because it gets frayed, well, it's not a rope, it's not a recovery point, it's not a flying D shackle, it's not a bloody tow ball, what people use, it's just a soft shackle. You know, let that be the fuse in the system.
Yeah, exactly. You got to have something that breaks. I mean, they're rated, so they're not going to break. But if something's got better at breaking that than your bull bar or tow bar, and that's the good thing with the bridle too. It does halve the load on a recovery point, doesn't it? It exactly halves it.
Yeah, exactly right. Halves it, and not only that. Think about it, you're pulling from one side of the chassis rail or in a monochrome chassis car. So if you're in a serious bog and you're hammering like pull after pull trying to get that, especially if you're towing a heavy trailer or something, and you're really snatching the hell out of this car, it can't be good for the alignment of the body.
Exactly.
So by
and the pressures that you're putting on that, right? You know, it might be a 3-ton vehicle, but if you do a full-on snatch from dead, you can triple or quadruple the forces, can't you?
That shock wave, that instant shock, that initial shock, it's got some grunt, that's for sure.
Well, it was funny because me and Connor were saying, because I was saying it'd be good if I get stuck on a couple of sand hills so we can tow all the recovery again. We just weren't getting stuck. We did the first 5 hills, no worries, we smashed through them. Like, oh, we're not going to get a chance to show this recovery again. All of a sudden, Air Creek comes up. Like, geez, we just had to. I even had to make one up. We just had everything we could find. We were using it. So.
And it was all a calculated risk as well. You know, we covered our bases. We probably should have maybe set up a winch point on the other side before. You know, but at the end of the day, we knew we were going to get to that point. And I know I've got the lift and the clearance that I wasn't going to be sitting in too deep of water. And as it it turned out, I was only sitting.
We walked across, as you saw a few times, and that's. If I hadn't walked across, well, you just wouldn't do that, you know. But
that's right.
It was a good base, and it wasn't getting deep. It was not as deep as I thought. I thought it would just keep going down and down, but you know, it was fine. And you know, you got your nose out, no worries.
It was.
And it's just really a bow wave comes out in front of you, and then it just slipperies up that bank, doesn't it? The mud just gets so slippery.
That's right. You're pushing water up the bank, and from there, this red stuff turns into soup instantly.
Well, it's been a good trip, mate. It's exactly what we sort of hoped on it. Like
it's exactly what the doctor ordered. You know, it's been amazing. Good bunch of blokes so far. We've had some crazy feeds, some great views, awesome driving. It's been good. It's been absolutely awesome. You know, and I've done a bit of a clip before when I went live on top of Big Red, and I was talking to the camera, talking to my mates or whatever who was on Facebook. And like Andy before, I got a little bit like emotional and teary. Like it actually come up on the thing and I'm going, oh my God, I can't believe, because it really is one of those moments where we all want to tick those boxes, and if you get the opportunity, it's fantastic. But not only that, there's people out there that really want to tick them and they don't get the opportunity in life to do it. And sort of makes me feel a little bit lucky, but you know, we work hard. I suppose the harder you work, the luckier you get. But it's just nice to be able to tick boxes, achieve goals, and also have people happy for you for doing that. So for me, and to do it with a good bunch of blokes, and you know, we've known each other, we go back for ages, and you know, it's not best of buddies, but we've always maintained contact, we've always maintained friendship, and we can catch up, you know, after not seeing each other for a year, and we can we can catch up where we ended our last conversation.
And we first met you at the Tough Truck, and because you've been, when we first started doing videos, you know, somebody used to start commenting on the videos Cotto was putting up, and he was saying, good job little fella. That's when I first remembered you. There's a couple of comments, good job little fella, on the, and that was on Kaido's videos on his channel. And you know, that was the first person to comment, but you should have seen Kaido's face light up. He come running in to see me. He said, oh Dad, someone's come to me videos. And we didn't have no idea who you were. We were like, oh, thanks Chilliburn. It was Chilliburn. So that's been your channel, Chilliburn.
And that's it, Chilliburn is my YouTube channel, And how nice is it to be able to give someone a pat on the back and say, job well done. Like, how good is that? Give them a bit of recognition for their good work, you know, because that inspires you then. That inspires you to keep going on and keep doing what you're doing, you know. Like it's,
definitely. And then me and Cotto, he was about 10, we were at the Tough Truck just watching the trucks, and this guy walked up beside us, hey, Luke and Cotto, and we're like, oh, hey, mate, who are you? And he goes, oh, I'm Chilliburn. Like, oh, Chilli. So that was cool, And we've been in touch ever since. And you know, it's good to have, you know, when you go on a trip like this, most of the guys are first time across, but you've got a good set of truck and you know what you're doing, so it's bloody handy to have, you know, as you know, someone who's come along who's got a bit of experience. It's good, isn't it? You need at least another bloke like that, eh?
Yeah, for sure. And you know, you learn off each other as well.
Yeah.
You know, you can never say you know it all. Definitely not. And you always look at the way someone else does something. You think, oh man, how clever is that? Or that's a good idea. Or so definitely.
I think that's the key, mate. Eh? Like, you know, they say that about life, of course. That you always learn, but you know, some people, if you're a little bit arrogant, you think, oh, I know what I'm doing, and that's it. You know, but you're picking up tips all the time, mate.
All the time.
And you've just got to have a bit of an open mind to accept ideas and thinking you don't actually know it all, and maybe someone else has got a better idea, you know, a different way or a better way of doing things. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of room for improvement and growing, and things evolve, you know, times change, products, technology change. So what works for you in the past years, the D-shackle worked for us in the past years. The normal snatch strap worked for us over the years. You wouldn't have anything else in your recovery kit. It's the first thing you grab when you took off from home.
Yeah.
But now, you know, equipment, technology, it's all evolved. Yeah. It's safer, it's lighter, it's more practical. You got to move with the times.
And I used to love my D-shackles. Like, I used to just love grabbing a D-shackle out and hooking it up, because I used to work not the rigging industry, but I was cutting trees and snigging trees out for about 12 months working for a bloke. Yeah. And we were just pulling, you know, chopping trees down, snigging it out with tractors. Yeah. And it was all chains and D-shackles, and I love me, even, you know, me drag chain, which I've kept in my truck under my seat for the whole time. And you know, it must be 10-15 kilos. The other day I'm like, oh, sorry mate, I just don't need you anymore, you know.
Well, you know what,
my drag chain.
I was going through my gear and I still couldn't part with it. I thought,
no, you still got it.
I still got it in the back, because I'm thinking, just in case we're going to drag a tree across, I'd rather drag it with a chain than drag it with a snatch strap and damage a strap or whatever.
That's why you know, the little bridle or something like that, because I reckon now, like if you got your little bridle, a 3-4 metre rope, right? Yeah. Now that I've got that feed tool, if you damage an end on it, they just cut it off and rethread it.
There you go.
I mean? Yeah. So,
and that's 15 kilos, 10 kilos, like it is. It's a big, heavy item. Like,
and really, my drag chain in the last 10 years, I've used it probably twice. You know? And it's just to pull logs off the track down the high country, right? Well, I couldn't. You know, also you've got that old winch rope, right? Yeah. Well, just cut 5 metres off that. Use it like a bit of a sacrificial rope. That's right. You've got a recovery off it. Yeah. So use it for a drag chain. You can just lift that through, and you know, the 99.5% of the time that you are carrying the thing down, it's saving. Because if you add it up, 10 kilos for your drag chain, and then up to 10-15 kilos for all your Ds. Yeah. I mean, that's a fair bit of weight.
Mate, we've got a bag in the back there that's the size of a garbage bag. It's got that many ropes and soft shackles and winch extensions in there. And I'm looking at this thing. I went to pick it up to throw it in the back of the ute, and I think it'll be lucky to weigh 10 kilos.
And it's wet.
And it's wet. That's right.
No, it's all soaking wet.
Yeah, I mean, my God, am I going to put this thing on the back? I feel like Santa Claus when I throw it on my back. Yeah. It's 10 kilos tops.
Yeah. I'll have to lay all that out tonight and get it dry. Yeah. Right, Lee, what's the time? Have you got all these gadgets? Have you got a clock on?
I have. It's in. There you go. It's in Canada. We don't like to know what the time is because you know we're trying. While we're out here having fun, we lose track of time and days.
So it's nearly 5. We said we're going to pull up. So what about pull up outside this hill? I'll jump back in with Richard. Yeah. And then we'll start looking for a bit of a good track.
We might actually film this hill because it snakes away to the left and to the right. It's actually a good one.
I'll get in front of you.
All right.